Do we have a destiny? Do we have a mission and a purpose in life? And how do you know what that is? And how do you get access to it? Hello, my name is Zimon, and thank you so much for listening, watching, and consuming this content in whatever format that you are. I'm so blessed and grateful to have you here. I'm a spiritual teacher, a breakthrough coach, transformation specialist. Whatever you want to call me really doesn't matter. But my goal is to teach you to become all that you possibly can be, to realize your full potential. Why? Because why wouldn't I want to do that? There's nothing more fulfilling than helping people realize their full potential. Now, the interesting thing about that topic is that reaching your full potential, which ties into the whole destiny and all of this, right? Your purpose in life. Realizing your full potential, what does that actually mean? You see, a lot of people tie their purpose in life, their mission in life, and all of these different terminologies to something that they're accomplishing and achieving in the material world, whether it's through their career, their job, their level of income, their class, their status, and all of these measuring sticks that we have in the world, and that ultimately determine your value. At least that's what a lot of people think, and it is the way that this world has been structured. But the honest truth is, it's just a load of crap. It's just a load of garbage. It all is. You can, look, you were born with a personality, with a certain set of skills, of talents, and you have borrowed from many different lifetimes in order to create this unique avatar. And it's not linear in the way that most people think. It's not like you reincarnate and it's this linear timeline for a particular soul or a particular individual. In other words, whilst I may have had many past lives on this planet, it doesn't mean that they were linear in nature, and it doesn't mean that it was, how should I say, me as Zimon, but as a different form and a different name, and then I died, and then I chose another incarnation, and it's all Zimon. There's only one Zimon. There's only one you that will ever exist, and you will always remain as a unique spark of creation. But what people do not understand is that there is a greater aspect of you, your soul, your God self, your infinite self. Ultimately, at the highest level, you're one with everything. You're actually God. You just are experiencing an incy-wincy little aspect of self in this incarnation, in this physical avatar that you have chosen and that was spun into form. Now, this avatar has certain traits, just like in a game, computer game, in a metaverse type game, where you might choose certain powers, certain abilities, certain personality traits. You might choose all sorts of different aspects of what this character is going to be. Now, some of that comes from your genetics, right? And your DNA. So your actual physical lineage that you embodied into. Then there are also spiritual traits that you borrowed from certain aspects of certain different lifetimes and different consciousnesses and aspects of creation that you have also borrowed and summoned as part of you into this physical form, and it's coming through this body. So there is a multi-dimensional aspect to who you truly are and who you were born to be. Now, every single human being on this planet has a certain levels of skills and talents, weaknesses, and life lessons that it is meant to go through. But are you predestined to succeed at any one of those or all of those? And the answer to that is, it doesn't actually matter. It really actually doesn't matter. And the reason why I say that is because inherent in someone believing that that certain things are pre-written and destined to be, not only for yourself, but also for the world itself, you actually place yourself into a box that could potentially limit you from actually achieving the infinite potential that lies within you. In other words, they're just belief systems. Now, it is true that maybe this avatar, maybe what makes my heart sing, and one of the greater skills that I have might be carpentry or building and construction and making these beautiful homes or something like that. So you're very talented with, say, wood, right? So you will naturally gravitate towards doing things that are in that field. And some of that might be influenced by your parents, your family, your friends, society, availability, openings, all this sort of stuff. Now, I know that I'm speaking very vague in many ways because, again, it doesn't really matter. Every single human being on this planet actually has the exact same mission and the exact same purpose. And there's only one. The rest actually doesn't matter, because ultimately anything that you do and anything that you choose to do in this world is to realize and to manifest and create that one outcome, that one mission, and that one purpose that every single aspect of creation that embodies in the physical realm is here for. And that is to have an experience and to gain experience. For what outcome? To realize who you truly are and who you were born to be. Now, again, me saying that, the first place that most people's minds go to is the job, the career, this and that, and all of this. But who you truly are is God. Who you were born to be is God, realized in this physical form. In other words, it's to master your set of circumstances so that you can overcome every life lesson that you chose and you can live your best possible life and to be in the experience of unconditional love and true peace and true happiness, which is your natural state. And every single being has that same mission and that same purpose, regardless of whether they're embodied on this planet, another planet, in other dimensions, other realms. Ultimately, we are ascending into a higher frequency and a higher vibration of energy. And as you master that, all bets are off. Your whole entire reality changes and you become fully empowered. And when you're fully empowered and you can let go of all the limitations and all the things that are holding you back, all the conditions and all the programs and trauma and abuse and everything that you took on, then you're free. And so then you will become the best carpenter in the world, or at least in your world, with whatever aspect of carpentry that you chose and choose. But the carpentry in and of itself is nothing more than a vehicle for you to realize who you truly are and who you were born to be as unconditional love, as God. Now, a lot of people get tweaked when I say God. I don't really care. It's just the best word to use to make a point. Everything is all one. And if everything is truly all one, which science has proved, then if you label that oneness as God, because God is the creator of everything, and so if there is a God, there can only be one God. And it's certainly not a male humanesque type consciousness that's sitting there judging and concerned about your measly little 70 to 100 years on this planet in the grand scheme of infinity amongst infinite experiences that are being had at the same time. Doesn't work that way. Doesn't work that way. You are responsible for what you experience and how you experience it, and whether or not you believe, whether or not you can break out of the illusion of the matrix. You are the one. You are the one that makes this reality into whatever it is that you want it to be. And if you make a lesser choices and you go against the essence of who you truly are and who you were born to be, then your life will get more difficult. It will be more painful. You'll endure more suffering. And yes, there is out there a collective consciousness that can and does and will impact parts of your experience. But that's what self-mastery is. Self-mastery and realizing and becoming your true God self and fully empowered. You won't react and be affected and impacted by what's going out in the world or going on in the world anymore. Because inherently, you'll be full. Your heart will be full. And you'll go through whatever it is that you need to. Because A, you know that you're immortal. And B, you know that this is just an illusion. It's temporary. It's just temporary. But how graceful your life is and the outcomes and how you move through this world in transition into your next life, or into the higher frequencies of reality, is completely and utterly determined by how much love you choose. And that's why that is your destiny. That is your mission. That is all that matters. Because as you tap into all of that, and the fear and the programming and the conditioning and all the belief systems just start leaving you, and all the trauma and all the abuse and all the negative emotions are extracted, ideally and in the fastest way, with the help of your higher self, you will see and you will notice things that you never knew before. And then all the white noise that's out there, everything that everyone's ever told you about how you need to be and what's right and wrong for you, won't matter, because you'll be full of your true self. And then you'll be able to make the decisions and take action and be guided to what feels right and feels best to you. And that is the highest source of power. That is the highest use of free will. Now, you might say that, well, all of that sounds really good, and I get what you're saying, but it doesn't sound very grounded. How do I do all that? And is that even really a possibility for me? And the truth is, yeah, that is your destiny. Every single human being on this planet, regardless of circumstance and situation, has exactly the same power inside of them and access to it. Now, yes, certain circumstances and situations that you embody into might give you what most people would say would be an advantage, but it just depends. Because just like anyone in school, you've got different levels of classes and people that have done more work and others that haven't. So everybody, even on a soul level, you've got some people that are ahead of the class in this particular time frame, in this particular experience, and they that have done more work in the past. And it's not a better than or a worse than, because again, there's no such thing. In oneness, there's no such thing as better or worse. Why would you ever think that about anyone else or even yourself? How do you even know? Because I can tell you now that there are a lot more happier people living a simple life on this planet with minimal income than there are rich people that are happy. And I say it relatively, percentage-wise, because there's a lot more poor people than there are rich people, obviously. And there's a reason for that, because there's a trap in the material world, and usually people that accumulate extreme amounts of wealth and fortune and this and that, usually that wealth ends up owning them. Whereas the humble and the meek, they're not owned. They have nothing or very little. And when push comes to shove, they can walk away from it all at any point in time without even blinking an eye. Very, 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 very important concepts. You'll hear me a lot of times talk about the material, and you'll hear me talk about the wealthy and money. I have no issues with money at all. It's just energy, All right, it's just an exchange mechanism for energy. But what I do have an issue with, and what has really severely hurt and damaged this planet and this experience for a lot of people, and is one of the main and only mechanisms of control that exist on this planet, is the monetary system. It's what's defined who controls what and who influences who. It's created a hierarchy. And that is the reason why the monetary system is going to collapse at some point, along with society. Only because it's unlikely that enough of humanity will change and choose to change and relinquish the hoarding mentality and the selfishness. It's the world that we currently live in, and the interesting part of all of this is that it's all changing, and that's the reason why this is all happening. Everything happens in cycles. This is not a bad thing that's happening. It's one of the most beautiful things to have ever happened. And it's happened many, 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 many times before. Everything goes in cycles. This is not our first rodeo. Really, really important stuff. Really, really important stuff. At some point, if humanity doesn't learn to truly love one another unconditionally, a large enough portion of the population, globally, genuinely, then the universe will intervene on our behalf. We will actually create and manifest the mechanisms that will make that happen. Because we're always manufacturing and creating the life lessons that we need. And the universe is always in balance. Always in balance. And the natural order of things is unconditional love. Unconditional love. That's love without conditions. So, your destiny and your purpose is only predetermined to the degree that you are willing to choose love in any given moment, and to remove all the non-love and all the conditions and all the programs inside of you. And what will facilitate that will be following your heart's desire and heart's passion, your true passion inside, that is aligned with your skills, your talents, and all of your positive traits, so that you can enjoy and gift this planet with your unique skills. So if you don't know what that is yet, and you feel like you're just like everybody else, that you don't have this great mission and great purpose, you do. Love is your great mission and your great purpose. No greater work that can ever be accomplished or achieved than self-mastery, self-realization, self-actualization, enlightenment, self-mastery, God realization, illumination. All of those are the greatest accomplishments that any individual, any soul, any human being can ever accomplish. Why? Because when you raise your vibration to that degree, and when your consciousness flips from a fear-based consciousness into a love-based consciousness, you are harnessing so much more love and anchoring so much more love on this planet that you are literally raising the vibration of the planet, and you are literally dismantling all the non-love on the planet in ways that you could not even possibly imagine. Nothing on the physical plane, no amount of money can ever accomplish that. And you're directly impacting 8+ billion people by doing that. It's the greatest philanthropical act that anyone could ever do. And all you have to do is just go within. And if you want to do it faster, you want to solicit the help of your higher self. And that's what I teach. I teach people the single fastest way to remove all that is not of you. If you remove all the non-love that's inside of you, all you're left with is love. And it is possible, and it is real, and it's becoming easier and easier. At the same time, for certain individuals, it's becoming harder and harder, because as the Earth's vibration increases, as we head into the new age, into the 5th dimensional consciousness, and we extract ourselves from the 3rd and 4th, the people that resist and hold on to fear are feeling more and more pain, more and more suffering. And if that doesn't trigger a spiritual awakening in themselves, and they hold on with dear life, then they will just become casualties of this particular circumstance at this particular junction and time on this particular planet. And they will just come back and continue in whatever capacity. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It's a little bit different than some of my other videos. And join me for one of my free live reclaiming sessions. I've got coaching programs, I've got courses. I'm here to help. I'm here to help you have the experience of who you truly are, because once you experience it from the inside, no one can ever take that away from you. And nothing ever becomes more important than that. And then you'll just watch yourself and you'll just glide through life in ways that are just like uncanny. Now, it doesn't mean that things aren't going to come up. I always have to tell people that, you know, when you summon love into you, what do you think's coming out? Non-love. So you're going to have to feel and experience and move a lot of that non-love that's inside of you. But as you do, and you get those gains and those wins, and you start feeling some of what I talk about, OMG. Literally, OMG. Oh my God. Is this even possible? Wow. Who knew? Who knew that there's this much love and peace that can be had, and that it's real? And the more that I remove and face my inner demons and learn to love myself, not judge myself and or others, wow. Think that more of that love, more of that peace. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So thank you. Please subscribe, like, share, help me out. Help me get out there. Help the algorithm push these videos and give other people the opportunity to hear some of this stuff. Obviously, if you think I'm a kook and you think that I'm crazy, then don't watch. but if your chances are, if you've gotten this far in my video, then you must at least think I'm somewhat interesting. But the whole point is, right, just have the experience yourself. I don't want you to just blindly believe what I say. I want you to take it on. I want you to do what you need to do so that you can have that experience. And then you don't need me. You don't need anyone outside of self anymore. You know, in a good way, in a good way, in a good way. Your relationships and everything just changes. It's just brilliant. It's bulletproof, foolproof. It's a perfect system. But you know, this had to be real in order for it to work, right? And if you're watching this, this reality has worked for you because you're obviously needing and wanting to hear this. You're obviously wanting to change and to grow and to become more of who you truly are. That's awesome. Good for you, and congratulations.